Now before we leave the subject of namespaces, and these things are a lot harder to deal with in the real world than they are to actually understand. It's pretty straightforward how they work, but I want to explain something that I kind of glossed over. If you've got any experience with XML, you may have seen it a little while back, and you may have been yelling at the screen while I passed right over it and didn't explain something. But if you remember, when I referenced or tied an XML document to an XML schema document or an XSD, I used a particular statement to link the two documents together, and it involved a little bit of, not trickery, but some smoke and mirrors with a namespace and a schema. So let's take a look at this again. Let's say that I've got the people.xsd schema document out there, and I want to associate this particular XML document with that XSD schema. Now, I want you to see what's happening. Now that you understand namespaces, this should make a little more sense to you. First up, what we're going to do is we're going to establish the namespace that we need to use that gives us access to some attributes that we need to use. So here's what we did. We went into the root tag and we told it XML_ns, XML namespace dot XSI equals http // www.w3.org /2000 /10 /XML schema -instance. Now that set up a namespace, and then we used that namespace, notice XSI, to point at the no namespace schema location. And we set that equal to our people.xsd document. Now, what this is telling my document is look, I don't have a namespace on my schema location. I've just got a document out there. So here's how I'm going to point at it. First of all, I'm going to declare a namespace XSI, and this right here should not be in there. Pardon me. What should be there, how's that? Those kind of fat fingers, I could have edited that out of the video, but I wanted to leave it in on purpose because I wanted you to see those kind of little fat fingered things can drive you nuts in XML. That's why a lot of people like the tools like XML Spy and others. But notice I set up the namespace that gave me access to an attribute that XML is programmed to use, and this helped me to point out to my XSD schema. Now, there's another one out there, and it's schema location. And if I've got a schema document out there available that I can hit over the internet, notice I can type schema location using this, and then set it equal to HTTP, and then put a link or point it out to my particular XSD document. So that's just a little bit of, not really smoke and mirrors, but something that's going on with namespaces, and I hope now that we've talked about namespaces that makes a little more sense on why we had to do that, to connect an XML schema to our XML data. So that's namespaces and schemas and how they work together.